Graduation day today. Graduation day. Well, for the National University of Lesotho, got me thinking about my very first graduation. I was feeling all sorts of excited. Like the outfit, I was wearing a bow tie. The bow tie, guys, black bow tie, and you can tell how old I am by the bow tie. But just walking to graduation, the gown, the whole day, the ambience, the vibe. It got me feeling so excited about life. Unfortunately for me at the time, well, I'm not sure if it's unfortunate. At the time I was already doing I was 4 months into my second qualification because I was doing an honors. So at the same time, you have assignments that I have to prepare. I have a test coming up immediately after graduation. And I was like, how does one feel? So I want to talk about how was your graduation? What do you remember? What do you feel? What do you say to somebody who's graduating today? How do we relate to any student from the National University who's graduating? And I'm sure the Center of Accounting had graduation yesterday as well. And probably the other local institutions will have those within the next couple of weeks. So what is graduation for you? And let's start the conversation there. Popcorn effect.
The first thing I can remember with my graduation, Nikisi Baki High.
Oh.
I was so excited. Got into the car, Gifisha, Roma, Baki High.
Oh no.
No going back. I just had to go through the process.
Okay. Was your outfit ruined in any way?
Sorry?
Was the outfit ruined in any way? Mainly because I got up out of the gown on top of the jacket. Yeah. And it's already hot. That gown
but
is
you
hot.
can't wear the gown
like
all day. Hey, there's a
point.
point where you have to take it off. There's a point where you have to take it off. It was obviously ruined because
Not even a waistcoat or anything of that effect.
No. But look, the excitement, I think excitement I overcome and trade disappointment. But generally I think with my personal take on graduation, I used to have a reserved feeling about the whole ceremony. Me going there. At first, I actually didn't want to go there.
Really?
Because I felt like, you know what? I think I have a friend of mine. I think Gaza Trigger of it. So Tato graduation, I decided and then we get now we went to the studio. And then on my graduation, I almost felt the same way. It's like, what? I'm not looking forward to this thing.
But why? Like, guys, the way I'm so obsessed with graduating.
I used to feel like it's overhyped up.
Oh, okay.
Like it's overrated. Because it's not like anything is gonna change. And so how. But to my surprise, I was like, what? I almost missed this feeling. Seeing everybody, seeing Roma, Rovers grounds with a lot of people, and it's a priceless feeling. I feel like everybody else should go through that feeling. I know it doesn't it doesn't add anything to you at that point because it's more like a celebration.
Okay.
But I feel like the feeling is more valuable. Having a memory of that sort. I can't put a price to it. I can say I got to the ceremony part of it.
Yeah.
I had such a different. I think mine was the complete opposite. So I was like the awards girl.
Oh.
Yes. High Stumping Awards that year. Only girl who got awards in BSc, which was good. So
firstly, you did a BSc. Let's give that a moment. BSc.
Yes.
Only girl, and you still. Well, were you the only girl in the group?
No, I wasn't the only girl in the program. So we got 3 when we got to the end of the program, and we had like a sea of guys. I think we had like 17 guys because there was 20 of us. So I got all the awards. So I was that girl.
Wow.
So my grad was like the week before. They actually sent you a list of awards, so you can go get your monies and whatever is before the day. So graduation for me was like this event. I felt so honored and so special, And then, unlike the class of 2020, we still had the physical graduation. So I did the whole going to Modolei and shaking his hand 6 times because I got 6 awards. So
royal handshake.
So just after you leave the stage, you're called back and then you have to go back. So there was that exchange. I was like, oh my God, he knows me now. How awesome, man. So, graduation for me is still, I think, after 10 years of not being at the National University, it's still one of those moments where I'm like, oh my God, I did that. And I looked so horrible, but that doesn't matter. I had a silk dress. Silk was
Shiny.
in.
It was in at the time. It was.
Silk was in.
It was.
At the time, 2010, silk was in.
It was.
And it was red, and I was just I felt fabulous.
Yeah.
I looked horrible in pictures, but I felt fabulous.
Wow. And I think Motebang has a very different experience. He graduated and then he sort of navigated completely out of his area of...
Yeah, ne? I think for me, my graduation, how was it? Like, me, ne? I never really celebrate milestones. Every time I achieve something, I'm like, okay, so what next? So that was me the whole time. Until this one moment when, right, you'd have these HODs and basically deans at the podium. So my mentor / parent figure was at the front.
Yeah.
At the front. So when she saw me, she was like,
yeah.
And then she took out her phone and then she took the video. And then when like the king said, you may now put on, and then she was just like the whole time. So at that moment, I think that was the proudest moment for mine. So I think that's the one thing we never actually take into account. Yes, we're thinking what next, or jobs, or any of those things, or it's just a graduation. But to our grandmothers, to our parents, to our aunties and aunts, to the village, you have achieved
people who look up to us.
something so monumental. So for me, I think those are the defining moments for me.
You said something that stuck with me when you said that you are in the process of graduating.
Yeah.
Like Lisa is excited about the moment. Lerato is up and down shaking the king's hands. But are you thinking at that time also what's next? Because
dude, I was.
Yeah.
You were?
Are you thinking about what's next? And what does that look like?
Well,
what were you thinking
at the time?
Yeah.
I had a job. So on Monday, I had to meet deadlines and do the things and But still, even then, even past that current job, I was still thinking, okay, so when is my next postgrad? Am I going? I'm not. So all those things were happening, especially because I was tired. Because I think it's hot, eh?
That gown is hot. That gown is hot, guys.
I think it's hot, eh? So you're just sitting there and just thinking, what next? What am I gonna do after this? Sure, I'm gonna get drunk tonight, but like, from Monday, it's back to reality. So I was thinking about all of those things. But the people that were celebrating me and the whole ambience at the moment helped me celebrate the moment and not think about Monday or think about the next 2 years or so, or think about what's next. Because people celebrating you don't care about those things. They're seeing you in that
moment.
In that moment.
I think he's had a whole webinar seminar on exactly graduated, what next?
Now what?
Yeah, now what actually, yeah. What was the thinking behind
after graduation? I know there was a time when I wasn't really looking for a job. I had a moment of a period of introspection as to what do I really want to do with my life. And I remember writing an article on that topic, graduated, now what? It was more of a personal thing, that here I am, I've graduated now, I have all these dreams and aspirations, but now where do I go? And at that point, having spoken to a couple of people, I realized this is a burning question among a lot of people who have graduated. We want to know, how do we then go to those dreams that we've been dreaming of and thinking of all this time? And I thought, what, let me put up a seminar and invite people. And I think our first seminar was at the American Corner. We had Motebang Senaoana, I think my partner, and a couple of other other speakers at the time to share a little bit of insight as to what do we do now that we've graduated, you know, because a lot of people don't know. You know, I think I've always been a go-getter. I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay.
You know, the question was now, you know, and having to find that route was a bit of a challenge. You know, and I feel like a lot of people, a lot of graduates, even now, you know you want to be this, you know you want to be this. This is where, you know, both May with mentorship programs and, you know, professional developments, they come in.
I think we'll be back after and then pick up from the mentorship because that's a very interesting topic. On the point of mentorship, you know, you know what I'm going to ask you. You know, let's talk about your mentorship program.
Yeah.
How? Why? Tell us.
So again, I think slightly different to, you know, you guys. When I left Homa, I had my dream job. Right? I mean, gosh, this is a dream job. I thought I'm gonna change the world, and I was in banking.
Don't we all?
And you know, I thought, oh my god, all of the unbanked, we used to call it unbanked and underbanked. I'm gonna change the world. And then, you know, I got to work and I realized that no, you're going to be fixing the network and you're going to be sorting out printers and you're going to be teaching people who don't know how to print.
Wow.
Right? So I've done my BSc in Information Systems. I think I'm incredible. I can code. I'm really good. But I am fixing printers. So the idea for me about career navigation is to firstly understand that it's not what you have spent the last 4 years or 5 years doing. Organizations are businesses that have imperatives, and your role is to find a way to make an impact. And it could actually be teaching older employees how to print. So how do you let go of your ego and become a tool that helps the organization achieve its objectives? And I think a lot of us coming out of varsity, we have these grand ideas about what's wrong with the country, about what's wrong with business, about what's wrong with, you know, whatever. The thing is, the system is already running. And you kind of need the experience and the influence to change it. You're not going to do it out of varsity. You need to find the tools to garner that influence. So my, you know, the initiative that we started, which was career navigation, was to really say, how do we get that influence? You know, you have the skill, but you also don't have the trust. So how do you gain that trust in an organization setting? How do you get your manager to give you those jobs? How do you get other, you know, senior leaders in the organization to look at you and say, wow, she might have some ideas. So that's what it's about.
And then what's your take on soft skills? Because I feel like as young graduates, yes, I'm just like, graduates become very entitled.
Yeah.
I know I was very entitled. I mean, I have a BCom in financial management. I have a BCom honors in financial management. You can't tell me nothing.
Absolutely.
You know? And when you realize things as simple as writing an email, you know, things as simple as, you know, the soft skills, communication, you know, how do we as graduates navigate that?
Yeah.
You have to learn those skills.
Yeah. So
how do you learn the skills? No, that's what I want to know. Like, how do we actually learn?
For me, I actually took an online course on soft skills.
That's good. That's better than most.
But did you know you needed a course, or how did you know that I have this gap that I need to close?
In my second or third year, I was so scared of unemployment that I actually upskilled myself from that point on.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was like, no, I mean, I'm gonna have to cut a few things out for me to achieve these things. So I have to choose that route. So I started learning online courses from the get-go about the critical skills that I might need, that by the time that I'm done, I might just become what people need for that. Of course, the thing about gaining skills is that, of course, you have the hard skills, but hard skills are like transferable skills. Anyone could have those skills, but what sets you apart is your ability to adapt and communicate. Those soft skills that we hardly think about.
Yeah.
And I think I saw an article, I think it was in 2018, where someone said, We should even stop calling them soft skills because they're so critical. We should
Very
call them
Absolutely. Those are the critical skills.
exactly the critical skills.
Yeah.
So we have to learn those skills of communication and just time management and everything in between that we need to maintain our jobs and actually grow our careers. Aside from the hard skills that we acquired from school and So for me, it was online courses.
Online courses
And volunteering.
Volunteering, very very important. So he went to study further. So you did your LLB at now, and now something happened in the winelands.
Yes.
Why?
So at Kataroma, in fact, in my 4th year of studies, that's when I actually found out what I wanted to do. I knew I always wanted to be a different lawyer.
Oh wow!
I've always wanted to be different. So in my 4th year of study, I took an elective of an intellectual property course, and then then I knew this is what I want to do with my life.
Because you're creative.
Because one, having been a creative, I've always wanted to know. So how can I use my law degree to empower creatives and so on and so forth. And having been introduced to that, I was like, you know what, Lesotho haona mofuta wona wa diagente. I haven't seen a lot of people doing what I want to do. And then at Ketagoma, I was like, you know what, instead of trying to get a job, let me do my own thing. Let me open my own consultancy. It was a shock for me. It was a shock for my parents. It was a shock for a lot of people. So, what do you even know? You don't even have experience. Like, you know what?
The
and
trust.
I got into the Motebang Innovation Park. I was there. Surprisingly, I was consulting with people, and now commercial related stuff, contracts, blah 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 blah. And then I realized, you know what? People need to trust my word.
Yeah.
I need credibility, and qualified for I decided, let me go to school. Let me go and do my masters, and then when I come back, I'll take over where I left. And then following year, 2018, got Roma. In fact, got Stellenbosch University. Hakele Stellenbosch, I mean, a lot of things happened. China, I saw a program where on technology and intellectual property and new technologies and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Let me just enroll in the program. And then I took off. I think 2018 was more like a peak for me insofar as education and self-development.
I think I want to come in there because we're running out of time. I think we have less than 2 minutes. And talk self-development, I love that. And I want to go back to Lerato and say she's currently juggling between a couple of courses. She was in information sciences, and now she's moved into niche product development, pricing, yes, client experience,
nice things.
self-development, and linking it to that in the last 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and have our closing remarks.
Yeah. So I think for me, the underlying thing has always been, how do I get people to give me more work?
Okay.
Because I get
more
excited about getting more work and
Whoa!
changing the world. I do. And so when we started seeing all of these interesting stuff, like, oh my God, it's the experience that matters, and consumers are in control, I wanted to understand how to translate that to business stuff.
Yes.
So what does that mean for business? And how do I get someone to trust me to give me money to do it? So
And
that's
work.
where the fascination about, look, I need to be qualified in client experience as a strategy. What does that look like? And I need to then be, qualified in design thinking, because it involved understanding humans at an empathic level. And then I needed to understand how to analyze data from that. And so for me, it's always been, I just want to get people to trust me. And for that, he's absolutely right. You need the credentials. You need to have that educational experience. But importantly, it's also about what Motebang said. How do you get the soft skills? Because trust is also a soft skill. It's about, integrity. It's about people looking at you and saying, she does what she says she will do when she says she'll do it. So how do you gain those? Those are incredibly critical skills to have.
Okay. Final remarks. I'll say, I'm young. I'm probably 20, 21 years. Venturing into corporate or entrepreneurship or in the public space, public sector space, or in the NGO, non-governmental organization space. What's your advice to young graduates today? 2020
go
virtual.
Drink.
By the way, go drink. By the way, I have a virtual graduation for my 5th degree on the 6th of October. So I'm yet to experience.
Amazing! Congratulations!
How do you pay for these things?
Hey! I work hard for my man. Final remarks.
I think for me is
not a paragraph. Sentence, phrase, quote.
Jesus.
Go drink.
Thank you. I think for me is you don't have to have it all figured out from the onset. I think we live in an era of instant gratification. So we think everything has to come now. Everything has to. It's okay to just let me celebrate my graduation. On Monday, I'll figure out what's the next step. I think that phase after graduation is a phase for everyone. It's a phase of introspection to say, okay, fine, I have my degree now. So who am I? What's the next step? All those things.
I just say not a paragraph, a sentence. Lisa.
I agree with him, and in addition to that, I just want to say, I think not having fear. I mean, we graduates should not fear their dreams, because the moment you do away with fear is the moment you will be able to achieve limitless possibilities. I think in summary that's all I can say. Do away with the fear and go head on to your dreams and aspirations. If you want something, go for something. That's all.
Absolutely.
Last but not least.
Wow. So mine comes from Carol Kaufman. She's one of the top leadership coaches in the world. And she pretty much says, we don't control our destiny, and I believe her. What we do control are the probabilities that we have. So for a young graduate coming out of Roma, Panajwale, centering, like you said, what are some of the things that you can do to maximize the probability that your life is going to turn out great?
Wow.
Education, furthering your skills is a sure way to do that. And just another one is about, living a hopeful life. When you kind of, again, maximize the number of paths that you have to a successful life, you actually increase your hope. So there's so many things that we have within our power as individuals to create the lives that we want, to create success. And it really is about, how do I create 5 different probabilities about my life, right? So your degree is the start, but you have about 5 more to think about. Go out and think about them.
Wow. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Signed, sealed, talks about Linford. Thank you, guys. Well, not with an empty cup. I'll do that. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what
Go
it
drink.
is.
What it is.
Go drink!
Go drink.
Go drink!
And celebrate yourselves. Cheers.
Oh my gosh.
Lovely!